Okay, welcome back. Welcome back to the podcast. Mark, how you doing, mate?
Not bad, mate. You've done one of these for a while, have we? Just me and you.
No, we haven't. I like these little solo episodes. They feel a bit more relaxed and paced out and a bit more chilled, I suppose.
We don't have to sound intelligent for other people, do we?
No, that is fucking hard work, to be quite honest, mate. It's a nightmare. But today we thought it'd be good to give a bit of an update on our journeys. You know, we're part of doing this, mate, is to hold ourselves to account, I think, isn't it? So it's good to get out there, discuss what we've been doing, how we're trying to continue our journeys. So this episode is Mark on Mounjaro.
Oh, straight in on it, eh?
Straight in, mate.
Why
straight
not?
in.
Let's talk about it. I think we should probably just sort of give maybe the last 6 months just for a bit of context, I guess, and say where I've been. So in October, I finished on the Cambridge weight plan, and I feel I'd got to kind of a natural point almost. And so then sort of 3 months, or sort of October, November, December, I was just sort of down to my own means and sort of eating food as I like and what I want and when I want.
So how much did you lose on the weight plan again in total?
28 kilos.
So what's that in stone?
About 4.5 stone.
About 4.5 stone. So, okay, so you've lost a significant amount of weight on a Cambridge weight plan.
Yeah.
You've then come off that, sort of pre-Christmas.
Yeah, so in the autumn, so in October.
Yeah.
And I came off that and I was 92 kilos.
Okay, and you're what, 6 foot-ish?
5'11". If I was on a dating profile, I'd say 6 foot, definitely.
Okay. So you're still, what does that put you, sort of BMI? Does it still put you overweight? Or?
Puts me in the overweight category, but sort of working towards, sort of like not far off the, well, no, I think I was still about a couple of stone off healthy BMI, or maybe less than a couple of stone off healthy BMI.
So you've still got some to lose.
Yeah.
But you've lost a lot or most of what you needed to lose.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So then what did you do over Christmas then, mate? So on the run up to Christmas, from October through to sort of January time?
So, as you've heard me talk about, I did very much sort of did a lot of research into ultra-processed food and tried to really have a real think about what I'm eating and everything. Having gone on such a low-calorie diet with the Cambridge weight plan, I did naturally put a little bit back on, and I was expecting that. I wasn't bothered by that. So I probably put about 3 kilos on. So I probably went up to about 95, I think, sort of heading into Christmas. Maybe a bit more than that, actually. Maybe up to about 96.
Okay.
Now, I was expected I probably would put a little bit back on. So I wasn't overly upset about that or anything like that. And then Christmas came.
Yeah.
And Christmas came and I fucking ate like a hog, which was nothing I'm proud about, but something that I think we've all done. And when Christmas happens, we eat a lot. We know that.
Yeah.
So then I came into the new year and we hear about Mounjaro, and I thought, you know what? It's part of the podcast. Maybe I should. And a bit of curiosity got the better of me. I thought, well, let's give this a go.
And mate, so because the thing is, there's so much out there about Mounjaro at the moment, and so many people that I've spoken to have lost shitloads of weight on it.
Yeah.
That have done really well on it. I think speaking plainly, I think is a bit of an issue for things like Man v Fat, because I imagine a lot of people are getting a bit frustrated with a lot of the weight loss on there being through Mounjaro, but then I equally think, well, does it matter? You know, at the end of the day.
If you're losing weight, you're losing weight. But yeah, just to let listeners know, so since January, I've been on Mounjaro. I thought, let's do this today and let's talk about my experience on it.
Ooh.
And it's not that great, my experience on it, if I'm being brutally honest with you. So I started in January, and you have a low dose to start with, and that's just kind of like sort of bed in, basically. It's like a loading dose, I think it's called, and then you step it up. I stepped it up in my second month, and then stepped it up again into March, and I lost. So over Christmas, I went up to about 100 kilos. So I put on 8 kilos since finishing. So that's quite a chunk. And then since then, I'm back down to about 96. I've lost 4 kilos doing it. But I'm kind of thinking, did I do that because of the jab, or would I have just shaken that off just because there was a bit of Christmas excess, and naturally it would have fallen off with a few better health choices? So certainly didn't see any dramatic weight loss, didn't see any kind of real, anything really transformative. Not to say that people haven't. I'm only just sharing my experience here and how I've dealt with it. For me, I think the thing was it did come with a lot of side effects, or there was one side effect particularly that I just couldn't handle anymore, and that's the main reason why I've actually stopped using it.
What's that, mate? What's the side effect?
It just affected my sleep. I really, really struggled with sleep. I know we've had a few guests on that talk about the importance of sleep, and it was almost, it had me in that point of like having a newborn baby in the house. I just wasn't sleeping that much.
Really? That bad?
What I found, I'd go to sleep about 11:30 midnight normally, and I'd normally wake up about 7. But while being on this, I'd probably go to bed about the same time. But then I'd wake up about 4 a.m. and then I couldn't get back to sleep. And that just happened consistently.
And then you're fucked the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, I then probably ended up eating a bit more. And like I said, I understand the sort of ways in which Mounjaro works, and it kind of suppresses your appetite. But I guess when I'm really sort of sleep deprived, I think we all get that when we're sleep deprived, you do end up just you do end up eating more, don't you?
Yeah.
So it did really, it almost took with one hand and gave with the other, almost, if that makes sense. So I didn't feel like I was getting any kind of net benefit from it.
So you obviously it's supposed to suppress your appetite and you're supposed to eat less. So you didn't find that it did that then?
What I found is, not really. People were saying, oh, it just shuts off all the food noise. For me, it didn't. Still wanted food, still fancied food. The thing that I noticed more than anything else was I felt fuller quicker.
Good.
That was probably the effect that it had on me, and it was like, I'd cook a big meal, and I would not often finish my plate. That would probably be the main thing. But as the week went on, so you take the jab on, I took the jab on a Monday, and on Monday, Tuesday, particularly, the effects were at their strongest. But by the end of the week, you could feel it sort of waning off a bit, and then it wasn't having that same effect then, if that makes sense.
Did you get up to the maximum dosage?
No, I went up to the third dosage, 7.5, and for me, I decided I've got to knock this on the head purely because I wasn't getting the sleep. Now, I'm a fairly good sleeper. I don't get up in the night. I sleep. Once I'm asleep, I'm asleep. And like I said, I've always had a fairly good body clock. I'll go to bed at the same time, wake up at the same time. And this put a massive disruption on that. Now, I don't know if that's one of the official side effects that they talk about, but that was my experience. And I didn't have the nausea, I didn't have the vomiting, I didn't have diarrhea. I think some of those are... but yes, there's some of the side effects. None of that affected me, but it was just, for me, it had a real impact on my sleep, and it's something I just couldn't handle. And I got to the point I had 2 doses of my third jab, which was the 7.5 mils. That's the third step. And then I left it a week, and I slept like a baby. I'm like, so this isn't proven. I'm not a scientist, but that was my experience. When I was taking the jab, I was struggling to sleep. There was no other external factors that were influencing things. It was just that. And I've stopped taking it, and I'm sleeping.
So my question to you, mate, is I question whether it would have been different if you would have taken this time last year at the start of your weight loss journey. So obviously, you've lost, I think you said it was 4.5 odd stone. And then you've put on a few kilos, but you're still at about 4.5. But then you've started taking it. So you're my question is, are you already too far through your weight loss journey to then start Mounjaro. It's how.
That's something I thought about afterwards. Yeah, like I said, I've lost the bulk of what I've needed to lose, and yes, I still want to lose some more. But maybe that was it, and maybe if I was approaching this as someone who was 20 stone, maybe it'd have been different.
Yeah.
I think the thing I've got to acknowledge is there's no doubt about it. This is definitely working for some people, and if it's working for you, fuck it, get involved, do it. I'm pleased for you. If it's thing, but what we've said right at the start of this podcast is everyone's weight loss journey is different. There's lots of different ways to lose weight, and you've got to find one that works for you.
Yeah, this is a tool at the end of the day, and it's not going to work for everyone. So I've got a few friends on it other than yourself, and again, it's a mixed bag. Some of my friends have started taking it, they've lost loads of weight, they're really happy with it. It's worked, it's doing what it says on the tin, if you like. And then I've got someone close to me that's been taking it and has lost, like, I think in about 3 months, about half a stone, which, you know,
weight loss is weight loss.
It's weight loss, and it's been helpful. But at the same time, they had quite bad side effects with things like heartburn, which I think is a very common side effect.
Yeah.
Certainly to start with, I think that eased up a little bit as it went on.
Yeah.
But look, you know, whenever you put something into your body, there's always potential side effects, isn't there?
Yeah.
Or you know, with what I had done with the surgery, mate, there's side effects to that as well. I had sepsis on the back end of mine. Oof. I had a tear in the stomach, and that led to an infection, and it got, you know, I was in hospital for a week or so. At the end of the day, mate, these are the risks that we take when we put something in our body, or in my case, take it out. It's, you know, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, it's a tool, and it can work for some people. It can not work for others.
Yeah.
And I suppose it's a risk you take. You're spending the money on it.
Yeah.
Do you regret taking it?
No, I don't regret taking it. Like I said, curiosity was there, and it was obviously being marketed as this wonder drug. And there's plenty of case studies and examples of it working really well for people. So, yeah, I was curious to find out. But my conclusion is that it's not worked for me. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And again, there's means and ways, and there's something better out there for me, like the Cambridge Weight Plan. So much so, I've this week just reached out to George, who we had on as a guest, who was my Cambridge Weight Plan consultant, and I think I'm going to go back and carry on where I left off there. I know it worked for me. I had the support of George, which was huge, and helped me when having sort of like when I wanted a holiday or a social event, and that we prepared for it and dealt with it, and just having someone there in your corner, I think was really important for me.
How does the Cambridge Weight Plan in price compare to Mounjaro?
I don't think there's much in it if you get onto the heavier doses, because you take it, you start off with a smaller dose, which is about 140 quid. You can probably get a bit cheaper with a voucher code or something along the way. But as you step up the dosage and you take a higher dosage, the price goes up.
Yeah.
So I think, like I said, it starts off at 2.5 milligram, then it's 5, 7.5, 10, 12, 15. I think that's how it goes. I think when you get up to the 15, it's probably best part of 200 quid a month, which I think Cambridge Weight Plan is not that much more. And if you're looking at it from my perspective, over 3 months where I've not lost a lot, that's kind of it. That's kind of factored into the cost, where if I went on a month on Cambridge Weight Plan, I know it'll work.
Yeah, but like we said, at that point you had a lot more weight to lose, so naturally that will be easier to lose.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah,
I mean, it's not easy. I'm not downplaying how hard it is to lose weight, but there's more weight there. Naturally, it's going to be easier to lose than the last stone that you want to lose. So
yeah, no, I think that's a fair comment.
Yeah,
but yeah, it is all about sort of finding something that works for you, and yeah, like I said, for me personally, I don't think Mounjaro has worked for me, but I'm not going to criticise it. There'll be someone out there. There's people out there that it clearly has worked, and if it's something you're interested in, the one thing I will say, speak to your doctor first. If you're going to inject something, make sure you're getting it from a reputable source. But yes, for God's sake, talk to your doctor. Like I said, this shit's serious. It's not. We don't want to be getting some back alley or something like that at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I think there are circumstances where it's not suitable. So, like, you've seen on the news, I don't know the ins and outs of it, but I've seen on the news that a few people have passed away taking it. So it's, there is obviously, it's definitely worth speaking to your doctor, I think. And I also question is, where are they getting it from? Are they getting it from a pharmacy, or are they getting it from someone off a social media platform who's ripping?
I do see a lot of that as well. I've been sort of like on a few Facebook groups and that, and I'm just like, if you're selling it, there's people selling this stuff, and I'm just like, you've got to be mad if you're not getting it from a proper pharmacy or somewhere, a reputable sort of supplier, but rather than some like 18-year-old on fucking TikTok or something like that. It's just mental.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that is crazy. Yeah, because you're putting it into your system.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that I would say is, and I've been having this conversation with someone close to me that's taken it, is the person I'm talking about, they're a bit older than me. And there's a few other health things in play, shall we say?
Yeah.
And, the other thing I'd say is if you're doing anything, so be that surgery, be that the injections, however you're doing it, when you're reducing your intake of food to lose weight, I still think it's so important that you keep your protein high, that you keep a nutrient-rich diet, because you're essentially putting less of the stuff that our body needs into your system. And like I said, mate, after my surgery, a couple of years after, I review it, and I don't feel quite as strong as I did. Now I'm a lot smaller in terms of fat, but I'd love to be able to know how much muscle has gone as well through not eating much. So I think if you're taking it, it's really important to make sure you're getting good protein diet, trying to maybe do a bit of exercise with it as well to keep those muscles going, because we all want to lose weight, but I'm pretty sure most of us don't want to lose weight at any cost. If it means losing muscle mass and not body fat, that's something to consider. I think it's really important.
Absolutely. But like I said, there's a different weight loss method out there for everyone. Find one that works for you. That's what this podcast is about. Ultimately, we're not going to tell you there's one way to lose weight and one way only, and you should follow this plan. That's not what we're here. We're not a business here to try and sell you something. We are just here to talk about weight loss and give the platform for guys to sort of like listen in, I guess, and hear our stories and find people that can help. But yeah, Mounjaro is definitely working for a lot of people. It's great to see people sharing their weight loss stories on social media, and I am over the moon for those people. I really am, and I take absolutely nothing away from it. My experience has been somewhat different, but that's okay. We're all on a different path and on a different journey. So, I've given it a go. It's not for me. I'm going to go back to something I know that works for me and hopefully continue my weight loss journey.
Just got one last question, actually, before we finish, mate. We said about getting it from a reputable source. Where did you get yours from?
So I got mine from MedExpress. So it's an online pharmacy.
Huge company, I believe.
Yes, until they took... I had to sort of supply my details. I had to submit a photo of me as well, so they didn't look like I was someone with anorexia. And I've written to my GP as well, and my GP has contacted me off the back of that, so I know that they did do their due diligence.
Yeah, that's good.
And so I think that is important to sort of share that information, and again, know that it is a reputable supplier at the end of the day.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, there you go. Mark's Mounjaro journey.
Yeah, there we go.